him running away. Brennan!
What?
Brennan!
What? We got work.
No shit. Follow me. Can I?
Nope.
There it is. There's the answer.
Nope.
You gave me nightmares. Give me a soy pop.
No.
Yeah?
Hey, Berserk, since you just showed me music, I'm gonna show you music.
I don't want to hear about it. Can I have a soy pop before you start showing him all this? I'm gonna leave. I don't like it.
No, wait. I might give you one after.
No, I don't want to hear about it again.
You're not gonna have to hear about it.
You're gonna literally tell him I'm here.
What? What's wrong with your music?
It's not.
No. Can I have a soy pop? Can I have a soy pop?
Sure, come get it.
Yes.
But you're gonna have to. I'm gonna show you the.
No.
Ah!
What's wrong with the music?
There it is. There it is. Here's.
I'll take soy pop.
Hey, wait. Can you hear this? Oh man.
I'll take a soy pop.
Here, Berserk. You want to hear the music? Here, hop in.
The caretaker, we're at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, you remember this album I played? That, fuck, hold on, give me a minute. You remember when I played this album and it was like old-timey music and you were like, why the fuck am I playing old-timey music? It was a long time ago. If you search in the fucking, like, music bot shit, you'll see a post of one of these albums. So, I knew him from, like, one of these albums, but I saw that he had another kind of album, and it was 6.5 hours. I was like, bro, wait, what? And he posted this last year. So, it's... The album's about dementia, right? It's a, like, art project to give an example of what dementia would be like in the stages of dementia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, say this is the first stage. You hear it?
Yeah.
I need to lower it a little bit. Can you still hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, so stage 1, it says, here we... Oh, you can't see, hold on. It says, here we experience the first signs of memory loss. This stage is most like a beautiful daydream, the glory of old age and recollection, the last of the great days. So you hear how the music is like, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all... No, God, Hattie.
He hopping in to say, son. And you said, no, hey.
No, please shut the fuck up.
Hate this man. Like,
Anyway, so you hear how the music's going, kind of, right? And then you can see the titles of the song. It says, it's just a burning memory. We don't have many days. Late afternoon drifting. Childly fresh eyes. Or childishly fresh eyes. Slightly bewildered. Things that are most beautiful and transient. All that follows is
the time skip thing, or the timestamp.
Oh yeah. All that follows is true. An autonominal equinox, quiet internal rebellions, the love of my life, into each other's eyes, my heart will stop in joy. So it's like trying to show like some kind of emotions and feelings of person, you know, in a very gay poem-ish kind of way, right? About what these stages of dementia will be like through the song titles and a bit of the description. The description gives more of a, like, actual, like, you know, thing about the dementia during whatever stage, and the songs are to describe it in, like, poem ways, right?
Uh-huh.
So, the music is going to change to represent the stages of dementia. So right now, someone with dementia would have listened to this type of music, right? Record players with, you know, this style of music, like old-timey record music, right? This would be their memory of the music. Like, you could hear it.
Yeah.
So this is how they remember their music. And then as the stages of dementia get worse, their memory of the music gets worse. So stage 2 is this. The second stage is the self-realization and awareness that something is wrong and the refusal to accept that. More effort is made to remember so memories can be more long-form with little more deterioration in quality. The overall personal mood is generally lower than the first stage and at a point before confusion starts setting in. So now the music, you could definitely hear the white noise, right? And it kind of like some sounds, but you hear all that white noise? All that like hazy shit? Try to imagine remembering a memory with all that, you know, the white noise is
The white noise?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
symbolic of like, you know, imagine your memory.
White noise.
Yeah, the memory is trying to remember the song, but you can't remember it clearly because of all this white noise. That's the what it would feel like to remember memories with the second stage of dementia. And then the third stage. Let me play the first song in it. Now it's like muffled, you know, there's popping going on, or going to be going on. Here we are presented with some of the last coherent memories before confusion fully rose in and the gray mist form and fade away. Finest memories have been remembered. The musical flow in places is more confused and tangled. As we progress, some singular memories become more disturbed, isolated, broken, and distant. These are the last embers of awareness before we enter post-awareness stages. So, you could hear how the music sounds muffled, right? And it's not nearly as the same quality as before. The fourth stage. Wait, but here, if you want to see what the poems of like the second stage are, this would be the second stage music and shit, going backwards. It's a losing battle is raging, misplaced in time. What does it matter how my heart breaks? Glimpses of hope in trying times, surrendering to despair. I feel as if I am me. Quiet dusk coming early. Last moments of pure recall. Denial unraveling. The way ahead feels lonely. So these would be like the feelings the person would have during the second stages. And then the third stage is like poems are back here or back there Benjamin. And damn, Kira, shut up. Loud ass. Popping and slamming shit. And heartbreaks. Hidden sea buried deep. Libets all joyful camaraderie. To the minimal great hidden. Sublime beyond loss. Bewildered in others' eyes. Long-term dusk glimpses. Gradations. Gradations, whatever, of arm's length, drifting time misplaced, internal bewildered world, burning despair does ache, aching cavern without lucidity, an empty bliss beyond this world, libet delay, mournful camaraderie, or what, camaraderie. Anyway, this is more like poemish than the other one, so it doesn't really make me feel anything about it. It feels more poem than the rest. But anyway, this is the third stage, this is the fourth stage. You hear how it's jumping forward and backwards and popping? Like, This is a shit way to try to remember something. Post-awareness stage 4 is where serenity and the ability to recall singular memories give way to confusion and horror. It's the beginning of an eventual process where all memories begin to become more fluid through entanglements, repetition, and rupture. And then the names of the song are just post-awareness, confusion, or post-awareness, confusion, temporary bliss, post-awareness, confusion. So you could hear how it's like bouncing all around, right?
Yeah.
It's really, like, this is a song going on, but really distorted. And that's how it would be for a late stage dementia. But stage 5, post-awareness stage 5, wait, loud. Stage 5, confusions and horror. More extreme entanglements, repetition, and rupture can give way to calmer moments. The unfamiliar may sound and feel familiar. Time is often spent only in the moment, leading to isolation. And then it's the same as like stage 4, where it's advanced plaque entanglements, synapses retrogenesis, sudden time what the fuck? Regression into isolation. What the fuck? So these seem like something that would be like medical terms for it. Like, it's not poem anymore now, it's more like medical terms, you know? And then stage 6 is just this, you know? Shit like this. Just, I don't even know if you can hear this.
Atmospheric type sound?
Yeah. Imagine your memories are just empty and like an abyss, like this fucking loud droning sound, you know? That would suck. And it goes for stage 6, which is the final stage before you die. It's there is no description. And then it's a confusion so thick you forget forgetting. A brutal bliss beyond this empty defeat. Long decline is over. Place in a world fades away. But what's cool is at the end, also, each stage, right? Each stage is represented with a different picture. So you got 6 different art pictures, all by the same guy who made pictures. And you hear how it got worse? Each stage is an hour long. This whole album is 6.5 hours. And I would assume you would listen to this entire album in one sitting and probably sit back, relax, and like daydream, because you're supposed to, like, you know, soak it in, get a feel for it, you know? It's supposed to make you feel, not make you feel, it's supposed to like show you how it would be for like dementia, but through music and through art, right? So I figure the best way to do that is sit back for 6 hours, lay down, just like daydream while this is all going on. So imagine you're listening to like normal old-timey music for an hour straight, you know? And then it pops over to a bit more distortion, clear distortion. Bruh, something's fucking wrong. Yo, this ain't music anymore, to goddamn, it's just empty, right? And each one's gonna last an hour. By the end of that hour, you're gonna be hoping for a different fucking sound, but it's only gonna get worse. But anyway, at the end, say you're listening to all this distortion, I would say from 3 hours ago, because this is pretty distorted, and then the next hour is distortion, and the last hour is distortion. So for 3 hours, you're listening to this, like, distortion. But the last 5 minutes, it changes. So, hold on. So you're listening to this for basically, like, you know, half the album, just distortion and noise. But they're, you know, supposed to represent memories and shit like that. How it feels to remember things through memories. But the last 5 minutes, stage 6 is where you die, usually. And the last 5 minutes are supposed to represent someone dying during dementia, which is what's happening now. The music was going, and all of a sudden it cuts out, cuts back in. I thought the whole thing was cool. I listened to...
Did the whole thing, or you skipped through?
I listened to one song per stage. Like one full song. And then, at the end of the album, you hear this. So if you didn't know this was coming up, I doubt any of us are going to sit through 6 hours. This would have been like, what the fuck, you know? You finally hear music again. But the reason why there's music at the end, even though it's distorted, is that it's like reported or said or whatever that in the last moments of a dementia patient's life, they get like a burst of
clarity.
Yeah, of clarity, and they can, you know, they start to remember not much, but at least something. So it's a little burst of clarity before you die in your last like moments that you're alive, you know. And it's also said when someone forgets some cases when the person forgets their favorite song and can't remember it anymore, because a lot of times dementia patients got nothing to do, so they'll end up just humming their favorite song. And when the patient forgets their favorite song and can't hum it anymore, like say you're like this, you can't hear any music through this. So say you can't remember the song, the person usually will die soon after following that, you know, because they can't remember the music anymore. That could just be that they progress so far into the stages, because dementia is like, you know, it's your brain shutting down basically, and you losing your mind, you know. And usually it's in old people, but
Obviously.
not. Just looked up and it says apparently like half of like the old people get dementia at some form.
It's like 30 to 80%, something like that.
It's a huge jump. So it will. So imagine you're going through, and dementia usually lasts like 5 years. So each stage is about, give or take, a year worth of losing your mind and not able to remember things, right? Hey, Damien, I'm talking about a dementia album, and like how it is, and
Stream probably.
yeah, and so, you know, you're old, you're remembering things, everything seems fine. In the first stage, there's no signs of dementia. You don't even know you have it, so your memories are clear, like this. Obviously, you're old-timey, so it's gonna be distortion. But then it's year 1, apparently it's like, year 1, you don't know nothing's wrong. Year 2, you're thinking, is something wrong? I doubt it. Maybe I'm just like fucking up my memories on my own, you know, old age, right? Year 3 would be like, bruh, people are telling me something's wrong. I don't want to believe it. I don't believe that I have dementia. Even though if you're hearing shit like this, you know, that would suck. Stage 4 is, shit, I got fucking dementia. This shit ain't gonna, maybe I could go back, maybe I can fix this, you know? Maybe if I try hard enough, I won't progress into dementia. And then stage 5 is, you're basically gone, or you're very close to being gone. Like, you're not even thinking about, I don't have dementia. You're thinking, what the fuck's going on around me? You know what I mean? Like,
Fuck are you, nigga?
yeah, what is this shit? What's going on? I don't understand. You're not even thinking about the fear of having dementia. Well, you obviously have fear, you have dementia, but I meant like, you know, stage 6, you're basically a fucking vegetable. You can't do, patients at stage 6 can't speak, can't move, can't bathe themselves, can't do anything, you know? It gets that bad to where they can't do anything. They're basically in a coma, a waking coma, you know? So, stage 6, you're just dead. And there was a cool story to go with all this that I read to Kirs, and it gave her, I don't know what part of this gave her nightmares. I think the whole, because the way I'm explaining it to you, I explained to her, and I read through it all and read the story and played the music so she could hear it. And so I like put basically a fear of dementia into her, like a phobia of dementia, which everyone should have a fear of dementia, but you know, she has like a heightened phobia of dementia now, I guess, or whatever, after hearing all this. That she had a fucking, she woke up, she had a nightmare about it today and woke up and said that she was crying because in her dream she was forgetting things and saying, oh no, you have, and I was in her dream saying, oh, you have it now, and she was scared. And some patients with dementia see things that aren't there, you know, and hear things that aren't there, and in her dream she was seeing things that were disappearing and hearing things. So in her dream she was experiencing what dementia was like, and she said she woke up crying. That
Pussy.
Yeah.
Bitch.
So here, look, this would be the music for stage 1, but I'm only playing the music again because I'm gonna read the story that I read to her that she ended up getting scared over.
No, I'm leaving. Tell
It's
me
not a
at me when
scary
you're done.
Just definitely. It's not a scary story, but it's like a depressing story, you know what I mean? Where would it be? Oh, here. Okay, so stage 1, she keeps misplacing objects around the house, forgetting, wait, hold on. Okay. Stage 1, she keeps misplacing objects around the house, forgetting where she left them. It happened before, as it happens to everyone at least once in a while, so she hasn't taken much notice to it, other than the fact that she can be so silly and disorganized sometimes. She also keeps blanking on the neighbor's name, although she's spoken to him several times today. Goodness, how embarrassing. And then, I want to have the music play along with the story, though, as well. So, stage 2, her performance at work has dipped slightly. She feels embarrassed, usually very sharp and on point, but recently she's found herself struggling to focus at times. She's been more forgetful than usual, misplacing important objects such as her keys and wallet. She sometimes loses her sense of direction or where she is, and she has difficulty finding the right words to use. Her daughter is starting to notice these strange patterns, but she denies anything is abnormal. She's just old and possibly running low on sleep. And then it'd be this. So, where the fuck did he go? Oh, stage 3. It was time to retire. Her work performance had taken a toll due to her lack of concentration and worsening execution of tasks. She felt ashamed, but maintained a sense of conviction that nothing was out of the ordinary. Once again acknowledging her old age, her daughter was really beginning to get on her case, noticing a sheer lack of memory in regards to both recent and past events, as well as a pattern of dangerous errors regarding her finances. The two bickered a lot, a persistent verbal war between concern and denial, early stage dementia. The diagnosis from her doctor had been clear, as was her refusal to accept it. She began to withdraw, shielding her withering confidence that all was fine. And then just go here for stage 4. Stage 4. The days have begun all meshing and blurring together. She can't quite place where she is or why things are happening. Questions such as, what would you like to eat today? And what town are we in? Escape her. What does that mean exactly? Oh, right, of course. Wait, what does that mean again? She's acting strangely, often misinterpreting what she sees or hears. She puts her clothes on sloppily, and her movements are wonky and clumsy, so her daughter stays close by her side and helps get dressed and stay clean. She can't remember why these things are necessary, or why her daughter seems so somber all the time. Oh right, she was sick or something like that. Wait, what was her name again? And then 5. Every day has devolved into a constant state of anxiety and confusion. There are bright lights shining above her at the flick of a switch. She can't place the sounds and voices she hears, and the sensation of food and taste in her mouth surprises her at times. There's an oddly familiar woman by her side, and a faint memory of love and warmth fills her head. Her daughter? What's a daughter? She has difficulty controlling her bladder and needs full assistance with everyday tasks such as bathing. She has trouble formulating sentences, just barely making sense to those around her. She frequently misunderstands objects and sounds, believing them to be something else entirely. Sometimes she becomes scared and enraged over things that aren't moving or even there. Other times she finds bliss in the quiet moments, unsure of what's going on or why it should matter. And then, 6. Nothing's playing. Yes, 6. Would be, she's lost her ability to speak or communicate. Her mind is but an empty abyss, reaching inappropriately or reacting inappropriately or sometimes not at all to stimuli. She can hardly hold her head up and requires everything to be done for her, guided by a strange figure that holds her gently, showers her in warmth and affection that she can't understand or give in return. She can no longer walk and sometimes gags, having difficulty swallowing. Existence is a foreign concept to her. People are odd amalgamations of flesh and hair, moving and making noises she can't comprehend. A sense of awareness that she was alive, breathing, and feeling was out of her mind entirely. Nothing was anything, everything was nothing. And then, you would die. It's pretty wacky, huh?
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty cool art project thing,
Yeah.
But that was, yeah. That was enough to... Oh, Damien. You want to hear the ending? Oh, I told Berserk. I don't know if I told you. Basically, just each album... Where? each album is an hour long, and every album it gets worse and worse to represent the dementia that a person would be going through, and the song represents, you know, the memory, and the distortion represents the dementia. And every stage is worse, you know. So this is without any distortions. It's just a classic record player, no distortions. And then you would listen to this for an hour, and then the next hour is slight distortion. It's got white noise in it. Like, if I could find the first, there's white noise, right? And sometimes there's droning, but not often. So the memories become a bit hazy, and it has songs like this with this amount of distortion for the next hour. The next hour, the third stage, you know, as the story and the description of it all says, there's signs of dementia, right? And the person becomes more confused or whatever. You're listening to this for an hour. Stage 4, the music starts to jump forward and backwards. Yeah. So try to remember something when your memory's jumping forward and backwards and there's haziness in it. You know, that would suck. There is music behind all this distortion. Like, you can hear the music. You can hear that something is playing, but with all this distortion, there's no fucking way you could clearly understand it. A specific instrument. It's just the idea of, like, music is going on, you know? Stage 5, there's more. But it's mostly, there's no real music in this one. It's mostly, like, atmosphere and distortion, but there is music. Like, you could hear, it's very low. Like, you hear a piano, but with all this other, and the piano sounds fucking like someone's just slamming down, hitting random keys. It doesn't really sound like anything. And then the final stage would be just this, you know, like an empty mind type of thing. There's no, I don't think there's any instruments. There might be, but not that I've found. It's just, yeah, it's just distortion. That part right there, hold on. I don't know if, after the record scratches, here. That part right there sounds like the beginning. Like, it scratched and it had that first 2 beats of the beginning of the song. But, so imagine that, all that, what just played, was someone trying to remember that first song right there, you know? That would, jeez, that would suck. But, the last hour, which is this album, with this picture, because they're all represented by 6 different pictures for 6 different albums, for the 6.5 hours it goes. But anyway, the last 5 minutes of it is where the person would die, and you would have, like, if I could skip. So you're listening to this for the whole time, for a whole hour of just this type of shit going on. And then I assume right there where it cuts out is where the person, you know, is basically dying, right? And then he comes back. Yeah. But it kicks, the reason why it's kicking back in is because, I don't know if you were here, when someone is about to die with dementia, they get a burst of clarity in their mind. So this is supposed to represent the clarity that you get right before you die with dementia. That would suck. You go a whole 5 years of losing your mind, and then right in the last moments, you get some form of clarity in your mind. And this is showing that part of it, which is just like, you know, cathedral music or whatever, I guess. But this would that would hit harder if you go through the album Yeah, it would hit harder if you imagine going through the whole album and doing nothing else but just like laying back and listening to this album, each one an hour long. So you could do it in one sitting, you know. And then after all, the first like 2 hours are relatively just music. The third hour is more you're trying to hear the music through the distortion, and then so you're going through hour after hour of it getting worse and worse, and then right at the end of the album, you finally hear music again. You know, you're back to after like 3.5 hours of distortion, you finally hear some kind of music. And I'm just saying that because imagine 3.5 hours of hearing distortion and then finally hearing music. That'd be like, holy fucking shit, thank God. But imagine in real life of having to hear or go through that distortion for like 5 years before you finally get to hear music again. You know? With every minute of your life being the distortion for like 5 years. And it seems like a crazy thing just to go for 3.5 hours of hearing distortion until you hear music again. So this album is pretty cool. I like it. I only put in one full song per stage, and then these songs at the back I did not put in a full song. Like starting from this album onward, there's no fucking way for me to. Well, there is. I did not feel like putting in a full, because these songs last like 30 minutes, or 20 minutes maybe, at this album stage. So I just listened to like 2-3 minutes per, going from here on, like 2-3 minutes or whatever, and then I jumped to the last 5 to listen to like this part. And even just doing that, a little bit of time in it was pretty cool. It would have been a lot cooler if I spent the time to listen to it for 6 hours, but I don't think, nothing to do with the album, but I think I would get bored if I had to sit here for 6.5 hours. But I also don't want to only listen to one stage at a time, because if you break it up into chunks across different days, it kind of takes out some of the impact. So it's either all or nothing with this kind of album, and I don't really feel like just doing nothing for 6 hours. But not to do anything with the album itself. It's just like, the way I want to do this album is to stare at a fucking wall for 6 hours. I just don't feel like doing that. But the payoff would be really cool to do that. It would be really cool. I just don't feel like it at the moment.
One day.
Yeah. I talked about it for half an hour.
Yeah. This was supposed to be dead now, but we're out here.
Yeah. I want to at some point do the whole sitting thing of it. Hey, Flame, you missed the whole like talk about an album. It's an album. Here, look in where should I, nerd? Where would this be? I'm gonna put it in.
It's a art.
It's art.
Project type thing.
Yeah, it's an art album. It's
about
not...
dementia and like the stages of someone going through it, basically, but
yeah.
with music.
Yeah. I'm not gonna
in music.
No, fuck music. I'm putting in clip shit because I want other people to actually see it. If it gets put in music, no one's gonna see it. But I don't think it belongs in like nerd, weeb, or weird.
It's a 6-hour long album. Six hours, my guy.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm putting in. I have it in my stream, or not my stream, my Discord stream. If you just want to hop in and see it, but I don't know if like Damien and Berserk want to hear it a third time.
I'm
Like,
good.
like the explanation of it.
I was vibing with it.
Wait, you're good as in you're fine with hearing it again, or
I'm good as in like I'm done.
yeah. But it's in Flame. I can't really put it in.
This is the type of shit you listen on your own.
This isn't something I could put in music shit because it's 6 hours long, and you're gonna be listening to just normal music for the first hour. So you're not gonna experience what the fuck I'm talking about unless you sit in this music chat for 6 hours. So you're gonna have to look it up on your own on like YouTube or play the video and like skim through it. To put in a music bot, you're just gonna hear normal music for an hour straight.
Yeah.
Get this shit. Ooh, get this shit out of here. Well, have fun and listen to normal music. How's WoW? It's fun. Alright, I'm gonna copy and paste this to show them. Your message is over 2,000 characters. Yeah. I'll just copy and paste
Part
one
by
at a
part.
time. Yeah. I've been like just, skimming through it. I've started listening to it about like 4 days ago or something, and it's just been neat. Like I skim through it sometimes.
A complete opposite to what I was listening to today. Or,
Your growl stuff.
yeah. You gonna pin it?
Sure. What an edgy comment.
Damn.
But this is from the guy that... Oh, here's the album. See? This is the music I played before, a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember it was like some Fallout feeling type shit.
Yeah.
I said.
It's from this guy. So I have listened to this guy before, but this is what... So I've listened to this guy before, and the only album I ever saw was this one, and when I played it, it was like about a year ago, right? So, or the beginning of this year is when I first played this, or something like that. And
Honestly, it was somewhere in the middle of the year.
But it was like, okay, this is his kind of music, just static, evil within kind of music. And then I played this, which is stage 1. I thought, okay, more of this evil within kind of music. But this album was only stage 1, so I didn't know it had anything to do with a dementia art project, you know? And then
Yeah.
And then, okay. There. And then when I saw again that it was 6.5 hours, I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this what kind of album is 6.5 hours? And I clicked that, I'm like, bruh. You know? Really, it's really cool of an album. I like it a lot.